This is The Process Shot. I'm Michael. I'm alone with my thoughts. And this is a review of The United States versus Billie Holiday, a biopic directed by Lee Daniels and released this year. It focuses, of course, on a period of jazz singer Billie Holiday's life between the late 1940s and the late 50s, showing her various battles with drug addiction, abuse from her lovers and partners, and with the United States government as they make an effort to prevent her from singing Strange Fruit, a song which speaks out against lynching. The film also focuses on her relationship with Jimmy Fletcher, a federal agent tasked with finding something to convict Billie on, but ends up falling in love with her instead. The first thing to say about this movie is that its story is very simple, almost excruciatingly so. It wants to be a cross between a traditional musical biopic and a story of civil rights heroism, but succeeds only at hitting the story beats of the former. There are elements of the struggles of being black in a racist society scattered throughout the story, but attention is given less to this and more to Billie's struggles with drugs and men. The subject of lynching and the song Strange Fruit don't even come into play until a single scene somewhere halfway through the movie, after which we go pretty much right back to the previous storylines. Speaking of the music, praise has to be given to Andra Day, who portrays Billie and sings from her library of music. This is, I believe, her first leading role in a film, and she absolutely loses herself as Billie. She's able to get a clear range of emotions through without delving into overacting or underacting. Neither does she lapse and perform well in one scene, but falter in another. Between the several prominent roles, she's definitely the highlight, especially given what she's been made to work with. The film is packed pretty densely, but more in a way of compiling as much information as possible without taking out less essential information. Because of this, they have to get through scenes relatively quickly, and they accomplish this by making dialogue almost straightforward and obvious. Some dialogue is outright exposition spelled out almost literally. There's a framing device in the film where Billie is being interviewed, where that exposition could have gone, but it's rarely ever utilized. The technical aspects of the film are pretty standard for the most part, but there are some standout elements that only raise questions. Of note, the film's editing likes to jump around during music scenes, not just from singing to other sequences, but from angle to angle, often with no coherent flow at all. Cinematography during these music scenes is also rather comprehensive, but for the rest of the film is otherwise flat and unfocused. The Strange Fruit scene I mentioned before is the only real highlight for cinematography, as it feels like a seamless one-shot sequence. But again, it's the only scene in the film which seems to try for something beyond being standard. In all, being standard is pretty much the simplest way to describe the United States versus Billie Holiday. It doesn't push itself towards being a statement on anything, hoping that the sensationality of its subject matter does that job instead. What we get is pretty much a relatively predictable biopic that hits the necessary story beats while being carried by a great actress and good music. The United States versus Billie Holiday. Lee Daniels, 2021. 2 stars. You're better off finding the soundtrack than watching the movie itself. Anyways, I'm done here. Like this video and subscribe. Leave a comment if you want. Hit the bell for notifications. And get me out of this place. Thanks.